Have you ever had a mentor figure you could lean on to help you resolve problems? That's what Chris Paul should bring to the Spurs this upcoming season. Paul's one of the greatest point guards of all time, and while he did turn 39 in May, remains a capable player. Even though Paul only signed a one-year deal with the Spurs, he has the ability to help set up a long-term foundation of what the team can do to build around Victor Wembanyama. I'm going to take a deeper dive and show how Paul can make a difference for the Spurs in both the present and future. Despite Wembanyama living up to the hype and then some as a rookie, the Spurs were outscored by 3 points per 100 possessions when he was on the floor, though there were some lineups where the Spurs were very effective. Not coincidentally, the two positive lineups that played 100-plus minutes together had a pure point guard on the floor. Trey Jones has the ability to run an offense, and it showed in some of the Spurs' most common lineups. Most notably, take a look at the second lineup listed. The Spurs, with four younger core pieces and a true point guard, are outscoring teams by over 20 points per 100 possessions, with elite play on both ends of the floor. Not surprisingly, Jones also posted impressive assist-to-turnover ratios, which is something Paul has done consistently throughout his Hall of Fame career. On a young team where there's less room for error, limiting turnovers and having those extra possessions goes a long way. The Spurs this past season ranked in the 10th percentile running pick and roll including passes. This is an area where Paul has excelled his entire career, creating offense for both himself and others. This will also open up offense for Wembanyama in a variety of ways. With Wembanyama's ball handling, this is an example of pick and roll the Spurs could run often. Here, Trace Jackson Davis goes into a dribble handoff to Paul and immediately sets a screen. Though Paul is dangerous getting downhill, as he's always a threat to pull up in the mid-range or attempt a floater. The defense has to account for that, but their commitment to defending Paul leads to a wide-open alley-oop dunk. Wembanyama struggled shooting from three off the catch as a rookie, but Paul's pick-and-roll prowess should create high-quality looks for him out of pick and pop. This possession is another out of high pick-and-roll where Paul immediately gets downhill. Though look what the threat of his pull-up jumper creates. The screener's defender sticks with Paul, and nobody rotates to help. Paul, not surprisingly, notices this very quickly, and it leads to a wide-open three. Another major beneficiary of Paul's arrival will be Devin Vassell. Vassell's coming off a career year from a scoring perspective, averaging nearly 20 points a game. While he shot well from three, it's important to note this was with the vast majority of Vassell's attempts off the catch being contested. In fact, he ranked in the 23rd percentile in regards to the percentage of attempts off the catch he took that were considered open. That's about to change with Paul. Even when he's not in pick and roll, Paul is able to attack closeouts. Here he sets a ghost screen for Steph Curry before he catches the ball in the wing. Though look at the attention Paul draws as he gets into the paint. That's three Thunder defenders after rotations, which Paul knows is an advantage. This leads to him finding Andrew Wiggins for an open three. This is an example of an action Paul can run with Wembanyama or Jeremy Sohan given their ability to pass to create for Vassell. It starts as another pick and roll, but Trace Jackson Davis gets the switch on the smaller defender. He then makes a nice cut which leads to multiple defenders rotating and would likely be an easy dunk. Though Jackson Davis here makes the extra pass and gets Klay Thompson an open look from three. You could make the case to just take the dunk here, but it's an example of how Paul can play a role creating open shots, even if he isn't setting them up directly. With Paul running the offense, the Spurs will have a higher floor offensively and drastically improve performing out of pick and roll. His ability to create for others with his pace and manipulating defenses should be a boost to the Spurs' young players in a variety of ways. By bringing in Paul, it also lets the Spurs experiment and potentially give them a clearer vision of the type of offensive system and personnel they need to succeed and build around Wembanyama in the long term. Given Paul's friendly one-year contract and the daunting Western Conference, he's certainly a candidate to be traded at the deadline next February. Though whether it's 50 games or a full season, his time playing with the likes of Wembanyama and Vassell could go a long way and be an important step in setting the foundation for the next era of Spurs basketball.